I'd like to ask the following questions. Last week in Vaschana, we read the first parsha of Kriyat Shema, Shema Yisrael. And this week in Eikev, we're reading Vayim Shema, the second parsha. When we look at the grammatical structure of both these parshas and compare them, we'll see that the first parsha addresses the Yachid. It's written in the grammatical singular, whereas the second parsha that we read in Eikev, Vayim Shema, addresses the plural. It's in Lashon Rabin, in the grammatical plural. Why the difference between the two? Chazal tell us the first parsha represents Kabbalas Ol Malchus Shamayim, the yoke of heaven. The second represents Kabbalas Ol Mitzvos, the actual Asiyah of the Mitzvos. Another question that I want to raise in terms of how to integrate these two parshas is that here in this parsha, the Torah warns us that we shouldn't take a look at Avodah Zarah. And the Torah is very careful that we should avoid Avodah Zarah. It doesn't say that in last week's parsha in Shema Yisrael. And finally, this parsha of Vayim Shema culminates with the mitzvah mezuzah. To answer these questions, we introduce a mystical concept called the Or HaSeichel. This is the part of man that facilitates the human capability of understanding and appreciating God's oneness. He's Echad, He's Miyuchad, He's in an absolute unity. There's another concept called Simpson. Simpson is when we take that concept that's abstract of Achdus and we bring it down Lamaisa into the world of action, and each individual in his own way, based on his relationship and his understanding of the Almighty, will implement his mitzvahs. He has his own unique individual way. And therefore last week's parsha addressing Achdus is one for everyone. It's objective. It's Lashon Yachid. We're all the same in appreciating and declaring God's oneness and His unity. But this week's parsha, in the world of Asiyah, the world of mitzvahs, it's every individual on his own, and therefore it's written B'Lashon Rabbim. Now, once we get to Lashon Rabbim, and every individual has his mode and method of serving Hashem, we have to worry about Avodah Zarah. So many different gods, each person in his own way. So God, in this week's parsha, will warn us about Avodah Zarah. Now we get to Mezuzah. In Mezuzah, the bias represents all different people, each one with their own perspective, but they all become one when it comes to declaring the Achdus of Hashem. Yiratzav be His will, that we appreciate and we implement Kriyat Shema in all its many aspects, and reach the level of belief in Achdus Hashem and in mitzvahs. Kedi Ratzon Amen. Thank you and have a great week.